Amy Adams.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what reports has he received on the economic impact of the earthquake in Christchurch on the 22nd of February 2011?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, first of all, it's important to acknowledge the impact on the community and families of Christchurch, first and foremost, ahead of the impact on the economy. But there's no doubt that the earthquake will have some effect or has significant impact on the Canterbury economy and some impact on the wider New Zealand economy. In its latest monthly economic indicators issued over the weekend, the Treasury estimates that national GDP growth will be about 1.5% lower in 2011 solely as a result of the earthquake. It also notes that the rebuilding and reconstruction effort will bring a sizable boost to the economy in 2012. So while in the shorter term, for instance, there are less prospects of a drop in unemployment, by 2012 those prospects will be considerably better.
Amy Adams.
Supplementary to the Minister. What is Treasury's early assessment of the costs of the earthquake?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, they've assessed two different aspects of the costs. One is the total financial cost of the damage of this earthquake, and at the moment those numbers are reasonably vague, between $10 and $15 billion, 2 or 3 times the estimated cost of the September earthquake. And secondly, they've estimated the impact on the wider economy. This estimate takes into account the fact that the economy was growing more slowly before the earthquake occurred and will then be affected by the earthquake. And they estimate that could mean a reduction of about $5 billion in tax revenue for the government over the next 4 years.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
To the Minister of Finance, can he confirm that Treasury's February monthly economic indicators states at page 4, quote, over the 2011 to 2015 March years, nominal GDP is expected to be a cumulative $15 billion lower than in the half-year update. This is mostly related to the weaker outlook we were seeing prior to the February earthquake, close quote.
The Honourable Bill English.
Yes, Mr Speaker, I can confirm that. Not all of the reduction in forecasts of growth either by Treasury when they're published finally in the budget or the Reserve Bank will be publishing forecasts this week, they're likely to reflect the fact that most of the reduction in the growth outlook was occurring before the earthquake. The earthquake has certainly had a negative impact on it.
Amy Adams.
To the Minister, what is the potential impact of the earthquake costs on the government's finances?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the government's finances will be affected in 2 ways. First, it will face its own direct costs of the earthquake. The costs of the earthquake are shared between private insurers, the government, private individuals and businesses, and our share is likely to be around the $3 to $5 billion mark. And it'll also be affected by a drop in revenue, some of which was going to occur even without the earthquake. It means the government will have to keep a pretty close eye on its priorities, probably take on some additional debt, and then look to see how we can absorb those costs over the next 3 or 4 years.
Amy Adams.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister, how will the government approach its policy response to the Christchurch earthquake?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, while the earthquake is a significant setback for the government's books and a significant hit on the economy, it is something we can handle. So the government will be taking a pretty considered and balanced approach. We're willing to take on more debt in the short term. There's not much choice about that. The costs are being incurred now. The debt for this financial year will be higher than was expected. Over the next 4 or 5 years, we've got a total government spend of about $350 billion, and within that we should be able to accommodate a cost of $9 or $10 billion just by thinking about it a bit harder. The earthquake certainly isn't significant enough to knock New Zealand off course with an economy that is gradually rebalancing towards savings, investment and exports.
Question number 3, the Honourable Clayton